What's up, guys? Jared Welch, RacingDudes.com, back for some more Kentucky Derby coverage. And you're reading the title. I know you're probably already fired up in one way or another, but I'm here to tell you why I do not believe Derma Sotogake will win or can win the 2023 Kentucky Derby. That's right. He just won the UAE Derby last weekend over in Dubai. I don't want to take anything away from it. I thought it was a very nice effort to demolish the field. Is the son of Mind Your Biscuits, who's a kind of a cool horse just in general. Of course, won a couple times over there at Maidan as well. But listen, it just okay. Let's just look at the facts here. Let's look at the facts. I was like, it's like forget about the horse, forget about what you saw. Just let's look at the stats. There's been 18 starters, the best. From 18 starters from the UAE Derby, the best Derby finish runner from the UAE Derby was 5th, Master Foxhounds, 2011. Let's look at some of the more notable ones. Mendelssohn, he could not have looked better. I mean, in fact, this was the fastest time since Mendelssohn over in the UAE Derby. Finished last. Now, granted, like he had a terrible time. The track was a mess. You know, got shuffled. This was eased basically in that race. But again, like there's factors that include with that. Thunder Snow, I mean, we all remember that, right? He never even finished. The horse bucking out of the gate in 2017, and you know, and that's the thing. Like Middleton, good horse. Thunder Snow, good horse. Crown Pride, he was 17-1. Like that's like decent odds. Really well bet. 17-1 in last year's Derby, finished 13th. And of course, was a major factor of why that pace was so hot. Just couldn't handle it. The 13th place, no good. 17-1 though, got kind of moved to Hege back in 2015. He was 14-1, finished 8th. Now again, I say all this because I don't think these are really necessarily bad horses. In fact, some of them are really good horses. It's just when you get to the Derby, it's just a whole other animal. And I'm with you. If you, okay, well, I'll say it depends on who you are. But if you're on the side of, I thought that performance was nice, I think he's a good horse, I'm with you. I think Derma Sotogake, I'm going to say it, you got to say it like that, Gaki, is actually legit. Like, I think he's a good horse. And obviously, we know Japan is dominating right now. Finished 1 through 4 in that race. You know, of course, won multiple races that day, including the Dubai World Cup. They won in the Breeders' Cup races. Like, they're on the rise. Like, if you said, hey, I don't think Japan can ever win a Kentucky Derby, I'd be like, you're wrong. It's going to happen. I just don't know that it's going to be this horse. And let me go into that a little more. All right, it is worth mentioning. Okay, there has been only four horses that have competed in the Derby. So while the UAE Derby is a different animal, we're starting to see recently. You know, back in 1995, we had one ski captain finish 14th. But then since, you know, we had a long gap. And then 2016, Lonnie finished 9th. Master Fencer finished 6th in 2019. More about him in a second. And then Crown Pride last year, you know, finished 13th. So we've only seen a few actual Japanese horses, and that's increasing lately. And that's increasing lately. We've seen that across the world. Japan is legit factor in these horses, in these big horse racing events across the globe now. Master Fencer ran a huge race that day. Of course, that was the year Maximum Security got DQ'd. Country House, got moved up, but Master Fencer was coming late. Nice race. Again, though, I do think it's going to happen. I think we're seeing that Japan is putting the focus on not just the Kentucky Derby, but getting these horses ready for these big dirt races. I just don't know that this is the path. The UAE Derby to the Kentucky Derby is the path. On top of that, like from a betting perspective, I don't know how you play a horse like this until, almost until you see it. One, Japan racing is so popular, these horses are being bet, and they're going to continue to be bet even harder. We saw last year, like I mentioned, Crown Pride was 17-1. And did not need to be 17-1, but was bet hard because of the Japanese factor. This horse is going to be bet even harder this year. I wouldn't be surprised if that horse is 10-15 to 1, just based off how good that performance was. He does have speed. He will inject pace into this race no matter how you look at it. And we do know if you are going to win the Kentucky Derby, it's likely that it's going to be on or close to the lead, which obviously is a factor, a benefit factor in his corner. But I think until we see it, you just, the value, there's no value there. And on top of that, I think the route we're going to see with the Japanese horse is going to be what we're starting to see this year, right? Mandarin Hero is going to run in the Santina Derby April 8th. That's the plan. Of course, coming from Japan to run in this race, it's kind of the first that we've seen of something like this, at least in a prominent race like this, like the Santina Derby. I think that's the path. I think that's what we're going to start seeing more and more of. And with these Japanese horses, seeing like, okay, the UAE Derby to the Kentucky Derby isn't going to work, but maybe we can get a horse over here to, you know, whatever. I don't know if it's going to be the Arkansas Derby, but it might be the Santina Derby, the San Felipe. Get him here longer. Get him training here in the United States. Get him working over the track more. Get a race or two under their belt prior to the Kentucky Derby. That's when I think a Japanese horse, because we're seeing that the Japanese horses are capable of competing with, like it used to be, well, they can't compete with us. Like we're just better than them on the dirt. That's not happening anymore. They've caught up. It's just more of a factor of all the American type of racing that's going to have to play in their corner a little bit, and maybe it's still up against it a little bit given this path. So for that reason, and maybe based on the odds, I don't know that I can play Derma Sotogake. I almost made it through without jacking that up, but I just don't think this is the time that it's going to happen. But I do think if you said over under 5-6 years, I would say under. I think we're close. I just don't know if it's this horse. I think we're gonna have to see a different path. All right, let me know your thoughts below. This is kind of a hot topic because he obviously is was a very impressive performer this past weekend. He's getting a lot of hype. We know these Japanese horses keep running well. He's going to take money in the Derby. Let me know your thoughts below. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have tons of Kentucky Derby content headed your way. All right, guys, until next time, see ya.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.